So this has been a pretty interesting week for me. I hit 1,000 subs, and I really want to say thank you to everyone that subbed to my channel or watched my videos, and I appreciate it so much. The rest of this video is just going to be a bit of an update on stuff I've read in the last week or so, and stuff I plan on reading for the rest of the month. So let's get right into it. I read my first romance novel ever. I have wanted to try romance for a while now, but I didn't know what to read, and thanks to Yolanda from StoryTube and Evie, I decided to try out an Emily Henry novel, and I read Funny Story, and that book is so incredibly good. The characters are great. The story is great. The plotting is great. Her ability to craft this cozy lakeside town in Michigan is just amazing. It felt like I was there. I had so much fun with it. Her dialogue is witty and just so incredibly good. I don't have anything bad to say about the book. There is literally one word that I thought was out of place or just wrong in the entire book, and it was because she used the word trapezius, and who is going to use that word, especially in the situation she used it in? And it's like, other than that, I mean, the book is perfect. So if you ever wanted to try romance, go check out an Emily Henry novel. I've heard from Yolanda and Evie that the rest of them are good too. I plan on reading them all, and I also plan on just auto picking up every new book she publishes from here on out. And I don't even read romance. Look at me, I'm already sold. So definitely go check it out. I had to DNF a book that I had no idea I was going to DNF. I've been talking about how much I love Ken Follett and that the Century trilogy has been amazing. Fall of Giants was perfection, and then I get to Winter of the World and somehow perfection got better. They're just so good, and the way he follows these families through those two books and just the way the characters find their place in the world and navigate through it is just amazing. And that is my problem with Edge of Eternity, the third book in the trilogy. I did not like it at all. I got about a third of the way through it, and I was like, this is not worth my time. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm just probably going to hint at a few things, so don't worry about me ruining your reading experience. I just want all of you to know what you're getting into when you get into the third book. The premise behind the book is Ken Follett wanted a story that starts around the time that the Berlin Wall is built and ends when the Berlin Wall falls, so 61 to 89. The problem with it is he forced the characters into the situations that he wanted to show instead of the other way around. I want to see how the characters make their way to and through situations, not shove the characters into them and them just be there because that's what you wanted to show. It just feels forced, and I wasn't invested in any of the characters beyond two of them. And the problem with that is one of them is from the German family, because in all three books you follow the same German family. He basically got rid of a character from the previous book for plot convenience, and like it's super obvious once you start reading that part of the book. You're just like, wait, this problem would have been easily solved by this character still being here that is supposed to still be here. The other one, it's in America, and it's about the civil rights movement. It's very good. There is a scene early on where they're in the middle of a mob in the South, and it was terrifying. That's another complaint I have about this book, is it's way too American-centric. It went from very Euro-focused in the first two books because you're following a British family, a German family, a Russian family, and an American family. And the American family is like the minority in the story. And it's a little more even in book 2. But then in book 3, it's like, we're America all the time. We got to talk about these political situations. And it's like, okay, I mean, I understand why, but also like, this isn't good. And then there's this whole subplot with this character that involves an affair, and it doesn't need to be there. And the thing is Edge of Eternity is the biggest book in the trilogy, but it's got the weakest characters and the weakest plot. So why is that word count there? I mean, that word count would have been much better in the other two books, or this would have been a tighter book if you would have just cut some of the crap out of it. I think the book is like 1,100 pages. And so, I'm a third of the way through it, and I'm like, I don't care about any of these characters. So I just DNF'd it. I might read it eventually. But what I want to say is, like, this doesn't take anything away from the first two books. You could read the first two and just be done. There is a fantastic ending to the second book, Winter of the World. that ties up everything from the first 2 books. But maybe that's one reason why this book felt so lost, because most of the things you really cared about were tied up. That's the end of my rant about Edge of Eternity. I still love Ken Follett. I've read 4.5 Ken Follett books since the end of December, and he don't write small books. So I'm looking forward to reading more stuff from him. It'll just be a while because the rest of his stuff is either spy stuff that I'm not that interested in, or a time in history that I also don't care about. So I'll get to stuff eventually. I'll read Pillars of the Earth at some point, but not anytime soon. Oh, out of nowhere, I decided to just listen to Beowolf today, and that was real good. Spoiler alert, an 1100-year-old story. Still good. It was the translation by Seamus Haney. It's very, very good. I'm still not feeling Fated Still Heat, the Garrett Files book I'm on. I'm almost done, though. I don't think it's going to end as good as I want it to. It's got some great characters that I really like in it, and that's been pretty much the only thing that's helped me keep reading it. When it comes to reading for the rest of the month, I don't know what I'm going to read. I think I'm going to get 1 or 2 nonfiction books. Not out of the way. That was the first thing that came to my head. Just, I want to change a pace that doesn't involve fiction. I was really tempted to start Pax by Tom Holland because I just love his books about Rome. They're so compelling. Maybe I'll give that a try. Honestly, I really don't know what I'm going to read for the rest of the month. I'm just going to play it by ear. So here's one of the things I'm struggling with. I don't want to read too much Glenn Cook too quickly, which is an incredibly stupid statement coming from the person that's going to be reading everything he's ever written this year. But what I mean is I don't want to go back to back to back to back with a bunch of his works. I don't want them to kind of bleed together and confuse me. But I will say I've been reading The Tower of Fear, and it is the best of his standalones, but it's still not very good. It really reminds me of an updated version of the kind of writing you would see in a pulp fantasy, but not like sword and sorcery, not over the top. Imagine the evocative scene setting of a pulp mixed with like a political historical fantasy is the best way to put it. It's really interesting, but it's also very hard to follow. It's got a huge cast and there's just so much going on. So that I'm going to finish probably in the next day or two, along with the Garrett P.I. novel. So I don't know if I want to start another Glenn Cook book before the month is over, but I might. Instrumentalities of the Night is looking real good. It's his dark fantasy series that takes place in what is basically Italy in the 1400s, I think. I'd have to look it up again, but I think that's right. But other than that, I don't know my plans for the rest of the month. Next month's going to be cool. I'll be making a video about that in the next week or two. This is going to be June on the Range, along with a few other things. So keep an eye out for that one. I've been up since 2 a.m. I'm starting to ramble, so I think I might end it here. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments if you've read any romance or you've DNF'd Ken Follett. And with that, I'll see you next time.